Well, thank you so much for a very wonderful introduction. I must say, I am privileged and honored to be lined up with these amazing speakers to share my experience into global excellence and harnessing international development and fellowship for impact. You know, when I looked at the profile of people that you aligned me with on the flyer, I was asking myself, what else do they want me to say when we have this powerful lineup of speakers and moderators? Let me delve in. I think I have just 10 minutes. Okay. Who is this man speaking with you? I am a very privileged and honored person, but for protocol's sake, Gbenga Asaolu is a multiple award-winning public health professional. I've been privileged and honored to work across projects in Africa and in the United States with United Nations, with other local organizations, with other US organizations, CDC and USAID. I am passionate about anything that will improve the lives of others without limitation across different nations and globally. And thank you for giving me this platform to speak to global audience and inspire them. Also, I have been able to publish some of the things I've researched on in top journals, and then occasionally they invite me to review for them. Let me start with my story. I was serving during the era of Yar'Adua, and at that time we had some high-flying individuals, and they kept me asking questions because in the school that I went to, since I did a multidisciplinary course, I had lecturers from economics department. I think I took courses in pharmacy. But at that time, you know, people like 𝐄𝐱𝐜𝐞𝐥𝐿 were very popular. Charles Soludo, who now goes by Chukwuma Soludo, professor, was very popular. I think was the recipient governor at that time. These guys were, and I was asking myself, I know a lot of people that have PhD in the university I studied in economics. Why are they not at the top, like 𝐄𝐱𝐜𝐞𝐥𝐿, like Chukwuma Soludo? If I know a lot of professors of pharmacy, why is it that the people that are popular were Professor Dora Akunyili and also Professor Maurice Iwu? I began to ask myself, what is the difference between these popular and impact-making ones and the ones that are only known by few? I went into an extensive research throughout my 1 year of youth service. I kept asking people questions. I was reading the newspapers. I made sure I bought newspaper every week. I was asking myself, what could have been the difference between these two persons, or these two categories of people? Some of the things that I found at that time, I archived it. I kept it. I wanted to start telling people, but I asked myself, do I have the results? And then I decided to shut up my mouth. And those things that I learned that time, I applied into my life and my career. And I think I have some results. I have the audacity to share some of those things today. Are you ready? I'm not going to beat about the bush. I don't have time. I have less than 6 minutes to go. I need to tell you point on point the things I've found out that I've applied, that have worked for me, that I believe work for those people, and I can work for you. Let me tell you something. When it comes to succeeding, it is about formula, it's about principle. It is not about location, it is not about the color of your skin, it's not about your background. If you know the principle and you apply the principle, you will get the same result that these guys have gotten. I am on my way. I'm not successful yet, I'm succeeding. So let's go. The first thing is to have an answer to that question. Who are you? I was doing my postgraduate when I heard this phrase from Lee Adesanya, that the knowledge of who you are delivers. Your first liberation, your first deliverance, your first light bulb moment is when you know who you are. So you need to, in any way you can, if it's for you to do behavioral assessments tests like DISC online, if you need to talk with someone, if you need to do self-reflection, if you need to pray, you need to know who you are. Then you need to do SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities that I remember during my postgraduate days? Our team were able to do something phenomenal before we entered the program. I think in the history of the school that has been maybe the program for 8 years, there have been only 3 PhD grade graduates. In fact, we could count them of graduates, maybe they had only 5 graduates. So we entered the program with 20 in number. You know, after our first semester, we had 8 people that were at PhD grades. That was more than the number of all the PhD grades they've graduated, which was 3 at that time. That was more than the number of people that have graduated. Let me tell you something. About 14 of people in that program graduated, not to time, but we graduated. But what did we do? We found out that we had a genius of the first order as one of us. We had people that had advocacy skills. Once a lecturer teaches something, there is that person. She's not a professor. She knows where to go and get the textbook that that professor is using. There are some people that they know how to, they have, maybe, I don't know, a superpower, but it's something they've trained. They can tell you by listening to a lecturer, this is what this lecturer will be interested in assessing us with. Then we had people that had the coordination and leadership skill that can bring all this together. And we worked together as a team, and then we broke record. And when you know yourself and you know your strength, stop crying about your weakness and play to the area of your strength. I found out very early, because in public health and international development, there are about like 5 streams. We have the epidemiology stream, we have the biostatistics stream, we have the health policy, we have the health promotion. I am a numbers person. Give me number. It sticks faster, I crack it easier. Know thyself. Secondly, what is your vision? In fact, some people might call it goal, but what is the big vision? What is a vision for your career? What is a vision? Because you cannot have a vision of a local player, I want to go global. It is practically impossible. If you want to be global, you need to think global. If you want to be local, you need to think local. If you want to be international, you need to think international. So the size of your vision will determine how far we go in this particular climb. I remember having a conversation with someone in the early 2010, 2011, and I was telling the person about where I would go in my career. 2 of us, while we both have PhDs, but he works in country, I work internationally. I'm not surprised, because that was what I wanted. That was the vision I casted. I was discussing with him. He felt that is what he wanted. I'm not undermining his effort. I'm not undermining. It is about the size of a vision. So you're not paying to have vision. You're not paying to dream. If you are not paying to dream, then you have permission to dream big. Don't waste the faculty of dreaming. Don't waste the faculty of thinking. Like thinking small. Think big. Have big visions. I'm asking you, who is your role model? For people that are close to me, everybody knows I'm not an economist, but they know 𝐈𝐦𝐻𝐜𝐞𝐥𝐥𝐨𝐬𝐡𝐢𝐷𝐢𝐻𝐜, they know that Dr. 𝐄𝐚𝐫𝐵𝐴DESIMON, they are my role models. I've not spoken to them one-on-one, but I've read many things about them. I've listened to many speeches that these guys have delivered. I've read a lot of things about them. That was why it was not negotiable for me, because I need to have a PhD, because my role models, they have PhD. And some of the things that have happened to them have replicated the early signs of the things they have. Who is your role model? Your role model is that person you want to be like something. How did your role model get to where they are? I've learned in life that success leaves clues. Read their biography, read their bio, their resume, their CV. What is that thing that they did that you can do that can give you the same result? Success leaves clues. You need to embrace continuous and never-ending improvement. Some people call it constant and never-ending improvement. Your last degree is not enough. You might need to attend a seminar that will give you that idea that will shift everything for you. Or you might have to attend that workshop. I remember one time early in my career, I signed up for an international workshop that actually got my entire 2 months salary. Yes, I had to survive without my 2 month entire salary just because I wanted to go for a 2 weeks international training. Guess what? I met quality people in that international training that inspired me, that formed a core of my referees, a core of my referrals eventually. Then I will not underestimate the God factor. I'm not trying to force any religion on you, or whichever religion you have, as an unseen force, as an unseen hand that actually makes things possible. I'm asking you, who is that person you call on, or what is that person that you pray to that can swing things in your favor? It might be because you will get to a state that there will be many people that are qualified. But one thing that will stand you out is the grace that you have. I hope you have learned one or two things from this conversation. Ensure that you know thyself. Don't forget to have a role model. Emulate your role model, follow in the steps of giants. You can see further because you walk in the steps or you stand on their shoulder. Also, have a big vision. Your vision is a picture of the future that you want to feature. I think I've been able to give you a few things, but when we get to the question and answer session, I'm sure that I'll be able to give you a lot of responses to some questions that you might have that are more specific. Ensure that you take that action today by knowing who you are and where you are going. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Bye.